webinar was driven from a conversation that I had with a colleague who said, wow, I didn't know Reconciler could do that. You should share it. So here we are. So just a couple of the hidden gems within the product that I haven't previously shared on a public platform. So this session will be recorded. So don't worry if you miss something, you'll get the link afterwards. And it should run for about 30 minutes. It depends how much I go on. And if any of you have had any dealings with me, I can tend to go off on a tangent. I'll try and stick to the 30 minutes for you. Let me introduce myself. I'm Rayleen Hargreaves, Principal Consultant and Product Owner for Reconciler at Datamine. I'm pleased to be here today to share some of the lesser known features and tools that can streamline your workflows, improve your data health, and help you unlock even more value from Reconciler. I've been working with Reconciler for over 20 years. It's been around for 22, 23 years now, and I've spent the last 18 years with Snowden and Datamine. In fact, I was a user of the software before I transitioned into implementation and training roles. For the past 10 years, I've had the privilege of being the product owner for Reconciler, where I've worked closely with sites around the world to help them improve their reconciliation processes. Here's what we'll be covering today. We'll start off with an overview of Reconciler, what it is and the value it brings to your reconciliation process. We'll have a look at the continuum and explore how mine plans and calculated comparison values, and I'll explain what they are, integrate well into the mine value chain, helping you track performance against expectations. Under point 3 there, we'll look at the grade block screen and we'll look at how to manage over and under depletions. When I say grade blocks, I'm talking about your mining unit. So whether you call it a grade block, a dig block, a polygon, a mine block, a cut, whatever it might be, open pit or underground, it's the mining unit we're talking about there, the under and over depletions by haulage and survey. I'll share how Reconciler manages version control with model and plan activations, and we'll dive into tools for monitoring data health, ensuring your data is accurate, reliable, and ready for confident decision making. I can't reiterate enough, if you've got poor data, there's no point in doing any analysis or any reporting. It all starts with your quality of your data, and I think we all realize that, and that is a big part of what we'll look at today. So in the live demo, I'll showcase some of these features in action, and after that, I'll open the floor to your questions. So let's get started. Just some background for any of those that are not familiar with our company. This image shows part of the current software solutions that Datamine owns and supports globally. We have something for every part of the mining cycle, from exploration, production, reconciliation, engineering, environmental, and lab logistics. Today, we're using Reconciler, which is part of the production portfolio. So what is Reconciler? It's designed to give you complete confidence, and that's our tagline, mine with confidence. Give you complete confidence in your mine reconciliation process by streamlining your workflows, improving accuracy, and ensuring reliable results. It provides confidence in model estimates. So while embedding mine plan compliance and trend analysis to identify opportunities for optimizing your production, really it does go back to the models and making sure that those models are giving the best estimate, because shareholders are actually investing in your company based on those models. So with a focus on accuracy, Reconciler will help manage stock levels, grades, metal availability, all for supporting better blending decisions and supply chain efficiency. We do facilitate best practice reconciliation, and I'm talking about the F and R series or variance reporting. So not everybody is doing factor reporting for their reconciliation results. We do offer both options in the product, and that's completely configurable by the mine site, so the users of that mine site. And I would just like to draw your attention to the box at the bottom right, the Snowden Optiro Advisory Training Reconciliation Partnership Program. It doesn't have to end with just getting Reconciler. It can actually continue on with mentoring and training in the reconciliation space with Snowden Optiro. So with Reconciler, you can mine with confidence, knowing your data and your decisions are aligned for success. So Reconciler delivers a range of benefits that help mining operations improve accuracy, efficiency, and transparency. And I'm a big one for transparency, and it needs to be that way. I think the JORC code in Australia is going down the same path with transparency, which is awesome. But we improve accuracy by reducing discrepancies between planned and actual production volumes. And how do we reduce them? We show you what they are, and you need to go away and actually make some decisions on how to actually reduce that variance between your planned and actual numbers. Increased efficiency, so practices such as automating your data capture for analysis. You can save time with people. Yeah, it's all about saving time with people. We know that resources are short these days. We want to actually make sure that everybody's saving time and resources compared to the actual manual reconciliation processes, which 95% of mine sites are out there still using Excel for reconciliation. Reconciler enhances stakeholder communication by delivering accurate and timely production information. A big tick, and it's usually one of the reasons that that people come and ask for Reconciler. They want to be able to deliver those timely production reports and that reconciliation report at the end of the month. So Reconciler enhances operational transparency by enabling regular data reconciliation. So this ensures that your reports adhere to standard business rules. So the standard business rules that you define on your site with us, while providing full auditability and traceability of the numbers that are being used. So yes, there is an audit log within the product of everything that gets imported, anything that gets changed, or anything that that I guess gets deleted. So just to summarise, Reconciler empowers your operation to perform greater accuracy, efficiency and confidence while fostering trust and transparency across all stakeholders. So next I'll show you how Reconciler achieves these benefits through some of its powerful features and hidden tools. So this is probably my favourite screen when I jump on a call with somebody. I like to show the continuum because it's a dashboard for the entire mine value chain, right? It eliminates the silos that often exist between departments by providing an integrated end-to-end reconciliation process. And through an implementation, what we do is we actually connect with each of the stakeholders of that, or data owners of those silos, and we bring that data in and we have it all talking to each other. So what you're looking at here, though, is a standard mine value chain. So if we've got some models, we've got the mining, we've got the crusher receive, the plant feed, and so forth, with some reconciliation comparisons. And I've just configured a couple there to show you what they could look like. And in this case, I've used factors, and the arrows between the different nodes on the mine value chain represent the comparison that I'm doing on across that mine value chain. The bottom waterfall at the bottom of the screen depicts the differences between the adjacent nodes of that mine value chain. So I'm not going to go into the continuum at all. That would be part of a demonstration that I would normally do, or there are videos online that you can have a look at a bit more detail on the continuum. But what I wanted to do was to draw your attention to that standard mine value chain and to let you know about something that we don't normally talk about, but it is available. Some mines are using a new metric called, or a metric called declared ore mined, or the DOM. In this example here, it's been placed after the plant feed, and it's actually representing the changes in the coarse ore stockpile as well. It doesn't have to sit there. This is what this particular mine wanted. They wanted it to actually represent the declared ore mined to the plant. I've also seen declared ore mined sitting just before the crusher, so it's actually what the mine has said. It's moved to the crusher. But it's a calculated comparison. It means it's not a standard metric. It doesn't come out of the box. We define it with you and we build the business rules around it. It's just an example how we can configure your mine value chain with the solution. Another variation is, what about mine plans? We've all got them. What are we doing with them? They can seamlessly integrate into the continuum's mine value chain, reinforcing the timeless principle. If you're not following the plan, what are you doing? How can you ensure success? So this webinar isn't your normal product demonstration. As I said, I'm going to jump around a bit. Stick with me while we move from the big picture of the continuum, which is what we're looking at now. And I'm now going to move on to zooming into how Reconciler can help you manage grade blocks or dig blocks at a granular level. Again, if you've got any questions as we're going, I don't see the chat at the moment, but please feel free to add any questions into the chat. Okay, so this is a screenshot from our grade block list. Again, it's a configurable name. If it's a dig block, it would be called a dig block list on your reconciler. But it's a powerful feature that allows for granular tracking across each block, giving you detailed insights into how your operation is performing against design. Here we've, here's the tracking of the design dry tons. So just what I've highlighted there in red, we've got design dry tons, which represents the design or the planned tons based on your mining model. I've used dry tons. If you track wet tons, it's available. We have wet tons, dry tons, volume everywhere, and we have moisture everywhere, and we have density everywhere. Haulage dry tons is the actual tons hauled to the stockpile or processing plant. And the survey depleted tons is the surveyed values reflecting what has been physically mined according to survey. On the right side, so I've just highlighted in the dashed line, Reconciler will automatically calculate the remaining tons compared to the design. Okay, so we want to know, have we over or under depleted according to the design of that mining unit? As I said, a dig block, a polygon, whatever it might be. And so we're breaking it down into like the survey remaining tons, the haulage remaining tons, or a combined totals for a complete picture of what's left against the design. So this level of detail enables you to quickly identify variances. And here you can see that where there are under or over depletions compared to the plan. I'm highlighted here in red for easy visibility and in the actual module as well. And you can pinpoint areas, problem areas, I guess. So whether the discrepancy is with haulage or the survey data or both, you can drill into the root cause block by block. And so this is, like I said, zooming right down to that granular level, and you're looking at the block level. So now I just want to move into showing you how Reconciler represents that data for a block in the view grade block screen. So I'm just going to work left to right here. So we're going to look at the chart on the left. And we can see, so this is one block we're looking at now and all of the individual movements. So we can see where in this scenario where there is the survey data in the orange line shows that mining is complete. So there's 0 tons remaining. However, the haulage data, the blue line, still shows that there's more than 4,000 tons remaining. So this discrepancy raises the question to me, and I don't know the data intimately, but was the material mined from this block allocated to an adjacent block during material tracking? That could be one question I'm asking myself. When you're on your site, you typically know what's happening on that day-to-day basis, and it's quite easy to actually go, wow, I know what that is. That was the block next to it, and this is the reasons why. But if you can't actually see this and trigger those questions, then, you know, again, it just leads you down to having more discrepancies when it comes time for end-of-month reporting. Now, on the right, we have the opposite case for over-depletion. So here the survey data, the orange line again, shows more than 200 tonnes remaining, while the haulage data in the blue line indicates that the block has been over-depleted by approximately 550 tonnes. So in this scenario, Reconciler prompts me to ask another question, and that would be, did the material tracking allocate the wrong block for several movements? Why are we over depleting that block by 550 tonnes? So I'm not talking about large scales. These are just, think of this as a gold mine and a small dig block, high grade dig block. It does make a difference, because if you're sending the wrong grade on that movement to, say, the crusher or to a stockpile, that's going to have detrimental effects later on. And the fact that survey said it actually hasn't even been depleted fully yet is another question to be asking. So the underlying data is available in this screen. So the tables that represent these charts, I've just copied out the charts to talk around, and you'll be given dates and shifts and truck IDs for each of the block movements in the table, the attached table, so that you can quickly track down where those movements have gone wrong, or maybe they're right. And yeah, we just accept. Okay, next I wanted to highlight some of the features of Reconciler that don't always get into the spotlight, but can make a significant impact on your workflows and data management. And today I'm going to focus on two key areas, the Reconciler tasks model and plan activations. And these will let you manage versions and activate the correct model or plan for reconciliation at any point in time. By maintaining version control, Reconciler ensures everyone's working with the most up-to-date data, eliminating confusion and errors in reporting. Then we're going to look at the system health, which is all about confidence in your data, specifically the import activity feature, which allows you to monitor your incoming data, flagging any issues or errors for the immediate review. And then the data health we'll look at as well, which will highlight critical issues with your data that will absolutely affect your analysis and your reporting. So this is the last slide before I go into the actual demo. And the reason I've put this as a slide is because in my demo set, I don't have multiple versions of a model. So I just wanted to show it here, but we'll have a look at it with plans. Same concept, just one's models, one's plans. So when we look at model activations, and as I said, it's under the Reconciler tasks menu. Reconciler allows you to import a range of model types. So we're talking about resource, reserve, grade control, ore control, mining model, anything, short range forecasts as models. You can pull in anything. We define it with you through the scoping of the project. This, by bringing them all in though, it ensures that all your key inputs for reconciliation are readily available in one place. The activation process though, which is what this screen is all about, ensures that the correct model version is being used for your reconciliation, whether that be your monthly, quarterly or annual reconciliation. So version control is critical. It is really so important for all of your reporting. And Reconciler does make it easy, and we'll look at it and you'll see how easy it is. It is not available for everybody, as in you need permissions to go into this screen. We don't want anybody just being able to change the model activation. It will automatically come in with what we've defined as the most reliable version to be active at any time. And it'll make sure that everybody's working with the same model version. But it will let you compare the different versions. So what I mean by that is, we just look at the first three there, the resource model for Chris, Mike, and Rez. You can see that the active model is the second version, which is the Mike. So I could easily swap that over, and we'll do that in the plan screen, plan activation screen. And you could make any of those versions the active model at any time. But as I said, it doesn't stop you from comparing those three versions against each other. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the demo. I just need to change screens. And we'll be looking at how to manage those plan activations and how to compare the plan versions in the trends screen. So we'll go into one of the analysis screens. We'll look at how to use the import activity and the data health screen as well. So just bear with me 1 second. And just get everybody back. Okay, so we were looking at that screenshot I had was the model activations. That, as I said, I didn't have versions in that model activations, but I've got versions in my mine plans. And the reason I have versions in my mine plans is because we have rolling plans typically. So what you can see here is for the monthly mine plan, we've got different versions that have come in. So we've got, October, November, December that have come in. What this represents is the dark in the dark purple is the period that this version has been activated for. So you can see here, if I click on it, I can actually deactivate it. I've now got a broken monthly mind plan type, but I could go in and turn on the previous month. Yeah, I could say this this particular mind plan is no good at all, and I just want to use the other mind plan for it. But what it does, it lets you actually control which plan or model is going to be active for a particular period. Really powerful and really great to be able to compare your different mind plans. Now, I've just pulled up the monthly mind plan. Any mind plan that that you import will have that as well. This top line here is what we call the active monthly mind plan, or the activated, I guess, data set for that. So what it's doing, it's grabbing every single one of those dark blue periods and putting it into one level. And for this monthly mind plan, it's going to be pulling out the these weeks here from this plan, and then it will be going on to the next plan down and using those. So again, you cannot have overlapping, so it won't let you overlap. It will turn one off and turn one on, and that's because we don't have an overlapping week. Otherwise, we would have a double up in numbers. So that's the way the plan activations works. And that's why I'm saying it's really simple. You can turn the whole plan off. You can actually just say, no, that's the wrong plan, and activate this entire one. You have got a lot of control if you've got the appropriate permissions. So every screen within Reconciler has a permission associated with it, and we do give them out of the box permissions, but you you can also define the user roles and the permissions associated with those roles. I've seeded some screens so that I can get through this in the 30 minutes. Where we're going now is to the data analysis screen. I just wanted to show you these plan versions and how you could analyze them in the trend screen. But remember, works same thing for the models as well. So if we open up the trend screen, what you'll see here is I have loaded 4 different data sets, the October, November and December data sets for the plan, and I've actually chosen those versions, and I've pulled up the mine production as well. So what's actually happened for that month? Where's that? If we look at September, you can see that there is there's a slight plan for, or partial plan, I guess, for October. Now, I'm interested in looking at October to December. I've just made my range 1 month over. So you know, the fact that I was interested in looking at October to December was because they were the versions that I've imported, that I'm showing on the screen. But you can see that there's nothing showing for the November or December data sets, which makes sense, right? It doesn't exist. They don't exist in September. Same sort of thing when we get to October. We've got a partial November plan for October, and that's because of that plan activation sort of went into the previous month. And then we've got our mine production. So let's just go down to December, where we have a full set for October, November, December, and then this mine production. Again, I've just pulled up wet tons, and I'm showing a chart down here, a table down here. I've just, yeah, we'll just leave it actually. All of the data, underlying data is available. The reason you're not seeing that there now is because that'll be wet tons that we're looking at in the mine plans. Monthly plan, October, November, December. As you can see, by the time we get to December, it's quite aligned with the December mine production. So what was actually mined from the pit or the underground, whatever it might be, for that particular month. And that's a trend that you would expect. I would expect that the most recent mine plan compares better than any other mine plans with that actual mining. If it doesn't, then there's questions that need to be asked. Have I even got the right version of the mine plan for that particular month? Now, these are the versions, yeah? So no, I don't often look at the versions myself. I would tend to look at, and I'm just going to change some data here. I would often look at just that monthly mine plan. So if you go back to that plan activation screen, that top dark purple line, that's the one that I would normally look at, and that's my my active period, all of my active periods for the monthly mine plan. I'm going to add that in, and I'm going to add that, I might add that mine production back in as well, and apply and close. Then what I'm going to see here is that for ore and waste for September to January, I've now got not a bad looking comparison. I'm going to start to drill down though and have a look at how this is going by a location, on a location basis. So I've kept it really simple, and we've looked at just by time. But what about location? You know, we're looking for spatial compliance as well. This dotted line, by the way, is a grade that you can turn on or off. So let's go to show me actually, I might just go to November. We'll just look at 1 month. Apply and close. So here I can see that this is a pit name here, Epsilon, has got a larger discrepancy between the plan and the actual for that month. So then I can drill down and look, when I've seen users drill down into their data, and they're much quicker than what I'm doing right now. You will just go straight to the block or the bench that you're looking at. But I just want to show you this slowly. So now I'm looking at just Epsilon pit, and then I'm saying, show me the comparisons at a bench level. And so here I can say, okay, well, we're looking at a significant amount of tons there. There's a 500,000 ton difference between the plan and the mine production on that particular bench. Whether we've overdug that bench or whether we've actually gone outside the plan. So we've not planned it and we've mined it, whatever it might be. And you can keep drilling down. So that's the ability there to go all the way down to the lowest level. You could group this by material type, lithology type. If you're dealing with models, you could be looking at your resource classifications and your reserve classifications. Yeah, so that's all I sort of wanted to show you there, was just the model versions and then how you can drill down into that data quite quickly. Okay, so again, big divert now. We're looking at the system health and the import activity. So this screen, so I don't have a live engine running. So this is, I don't have anything that's queued and waiting. Everything else for me is completed. But what you'll see is that these are the different imports that have been run. They've been completed, and it'll tell you the number of records accepted or rejected. And that's really important because you want to catch any of these rejected. And now this is a demo data set, so I've got lots of rejections for a reason. I need to show them. In a production instance of Reconciler, you won't see too many rejected, and you will need to actually address them if there's rejected, because it means there's data that has not been accepted at all into Reconciler. So we can't even run it through the data health engine because it hasn't even gone through the import engine. I've just chosen the control point import. If you click on any of those imports, it will tell you what the validation errors are. So here we had 277 rejected, and it looks like most of them were around this dry tons cannot be zero or a negative name. Now there are hundreds of different rules within Reconciler. It will give you the individual records that make up those. So, this is 1 to 10 of 277. And yes, you can export everything out of Reconciler into CSV or Excel. But that is a quick way for you to be checking, to making sure that everything is getting passed through. You can add an import job manually in the product, or we set up scheduled imports. So if you've got, say, a dispatch system that's regularly being updated, we would say, well, let's look in that database every 10 minutes or half an hour or whatever you decide, and it's controllable by a user. And it will go in and look for any changes in that database and import them, run it through the data health and so forth. Or you can actually run a manual import. And so this is where maybe your reserve model doesn't get updated that regularly, and you want to just flag it and or change it and then import it into Reconciler. You would do that here. And you could just come through, and what it'll do is it'll queue it. It'll say it's queuing, and then it'll say it's completed, and it'll tell you the number of records accepted or rejected. If we move to data health. So I'm just moving down this menu here. This is the cornerstone, I guess, of the whole product. If this gets out of control, then the analysis screens, which were those, the screens that the continuum, the trends, they don't really, they can't be relied on, because you've got all this data sitting here that's actually not gone through for your reporting period, or for your analysis and reporting period. So this is something that we recommend gets reviewed on a very regular basis. Again, I've pulled up a whole month. You could have this sitting with a quick link of yesterday and just tell me if there's anything come through yesterday, and you might see one or two. We don't fix the problem in Reconciler, we flag the problem, but you'll need to go back and fix it in your original data source, so that anybody that's tapping into that data source will get a better source of truth as well. So if we look at, say, then these are categories of imports. We'll look at the haulage, and we'll see we've got 48 critical issues. That means the data has not, is not flowing into Reconciler as you expect it to. So it doesn't know what to do with a grade, it doesn't know what to do with something, and it will look at that shortly. Warnings mean, yeah, we know what you're trying to do, and we will move that data through, but just be aware that this might have an issue with some kind of filtering or reporting that you're doing. And again, you'll see what that is. Cautionary, it's just information, so it might be missing lithology type, say, and if you're not importing lithology type at all, there are things like that that we can turn off these days. So if we just look at, I'm just going to go into the warnings one for haulage, and just to give you an example of what a warning, what have I done there? That's all, let me just go back. And we go to, where am I going? Yeah, haulage. Okay, so the warning was the haulage misclassification or to waste. So that's what I was talking about, where I said it's going to let the data go through, but you probably should know that this is happening. And so in this case, we've got 20 for the month of November. We've got 20 records that we've had ore to waste. We will absolutely flag waste to ore as well, as in to an ore stockpile. But that's just one of the business rules that that we've got there. But these critical ones, and they're the ones I was saying that you need to keep an eye on. Source entity not resolved. So we've got, what have we got here? Tactical stockpile. So this is a stockpile before the crusher. So this is the what they want to feed the crusher. We've got an unknown source being delivered to that tactical stockpile. If we do not know the source, we cannot give it a grade. We can move the tons because your dispatch will probably give us the tons. We will not be able to give it a grade, which means we will give it a 0 grade, and that will dilute what you're sending to the crusher. So that is why it's a critical data health issue. And you would need to go back and update the source with the right name. Whether that is, hasn't been imported in maybe the grade control model, so it doesn't know what the source is. So the mining block doesn't exist in Reconciler, or maybe its dispatch has actually got the wrong name on the source movement. It could be one of those. So that's, which is why we give the equipment ID as well. Another one there, the crusher. So we've got more material going to the crusher. So we've got a lot here that like waste dumps. There you go, I don't really care. You can suppress data health issues. So if they're things that really aren't going to impact what you're looking at, then you can suppress them. It does not delete them, and you can go and actually reactivate them as a validation error later on. So that's source entity, and we've also obviously got destination entity as well. But there are hundreds of business rules. So we give you a sort of a one-liner as to what it might be, but then what we do is we actually say, if you need more information, there's a little information button up the top. There is a full online help of Reconciler here, so you would click that button. It opens you up, it's context sensitive, so it's going to open it up to the data health menu. And then you can actually go through and have a look. I'm going to flick us over though to a new online help that we're launching in. It's been launched actually, but it'll go live, and the connection from Reconciler will be straight to this platform in February, and that is part of the Datamine document website. So I've just pulled up data health. I've done a search on data health up the top here, and what you'll see are all of the different data health issues that are available. And so this is not import health, that's got another whole list. This is data health. And if I go to haulage data issues, I don't expect you to read any of this, but this is more information on helping you understand what that error message means. If that is still not enough and you don't understand what you need to do, you would raise a support ticket. Okay, and we're pretty reactive with our support tickets. We tend to jump on them quite quickly, but they're all here. So this is, then we go into mine plan data issues. If there are custom business health business rules that you need built in, what we do is we actually just create them. So they are available as well. I'm just going to swap back to my screen. So that sort of ends the some of the I guess tasks or the features that I wanted to highlight. But this screen just highlights some of the leading companies that are trusting Reconciler for their reconciliation processes across different commodities, including precious metals, base metals, bulk commodities, and diamonds. From industries giants like BHP, Anglo American, and Newmont to specialised operations. So Reconcile has been the tool in helping these organisations improve accuracy, transparency, and efficiency in their reconciliation workflows. So whether it's been tracking stockpiles or managing their mine plans or ensuring data confidence, Reconciler does continue to deliver value across the global mining industry. Thank you all for joining me today and for exploring some of Reconciler's hidden features. I hope this session has sparked some new ideas and provided some insights into tools that can streamline your workflows and improve accuracy and help you mine with greater confidence.